Brittney and Dorrie.
We done pulled back out the
end
game, and instead of our cards being random this time, I basically told Babe to go through that deck and pick out. Dang, you got 3 questions you
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to have them there in case.
Okay.
Narrow them down. What have I held in you?
A lot.
Okay.
And I think you know that. I think.
No, I need you to tell me. This is the game, baby.
Creed want to know too. What?
You said this is the raw and uncut.
It is. So honestly, what you have held in me, I would honestly say I at one point thought was irreparable. And that's love.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to love unconditionally, out loud, not remorseful for it, not walking on eggshells with it. I just feel like you healed all of that. I probably could never tell you how you did it besides just being who you are, but it's so funny that that's a question, because I think it was last week where you're like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, you knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you knew that. You knew that. I still feel like you knew that. I still feel like I told you that. So, should I kind of let them in on it?
No, we can't.
But if I'm going to answer your question 100% authentic, then it would probably I probably should let them in on a little bit, because a lot of them don't know.
Okay.
I mean, they know from our how we met story, but actually knowing kind of everything, I feel like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they end the conversation, but I'm just going to talk to you because honestly, I've never really even had the conversation with you.
Okay, baby.
So, I don't think it's a secret that and I think I've told you this before, I didn't want to get married again. I never got married.
I'm like,
I never made it to that step,
yeah.
Except obviously with Noe. So Noe is the first person I've ever married, but she is not the first person you're not the first person that I proposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was last week your first time knowing how I proposed?
No.
Okay.
No.
How did you know that then?
I feel like you told me that, but I don't feel like, no. Yeah, you told me that part before, but I think when we were describing, I don't know when it was, but we were kind of describing, obviously, it had something to do with how your dad handled, it was after all of this or something. It was something about it, because I remember we talked about, your dad made the food or something like that,
Okay, yeah.
So I think that's the reason why I even knew that, but it was something about your dad is why I did that story.
Okay. So, obviously you know that. So my very first time proposing to someone, I did a flash mob. Group of people, family and friends there, proposed. My ex at the time obviously accepted the proposal. We already lived together, so we were together for some time, 4 years prior to that. And then post proposal, about I don't even know how many months later, but it was some months, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My ex woke up one day, left me a letter, pretty much apologizing for number one, leaving, and number two, just breaking my heart. And she had the ring, she left the ring on the table. Mm-hmm. And obviously the letter said a few more things, I know you're never going to forgive me, but I don't want this to ever dim your light. You didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. So to me, at that time, I think I felt more like, here I am all this time feeling like I have the best thing in the world, have the best relationship, do this huge act in front of all of these people. It's like recorded. It's like at the time, it was on YouTube, tons and tons of views. It was just like seen as like that was pretty dope. That was awesome. So to be reading this letter and realizing that everything that I thought my future was going to be ended up not being that, and just having to come to the realization of it all, it's like at the end of the day, number one, I was humbled. I didn't realize it at the moment, because at the time I felt embarrassed, I felt like sad, I felt alone, I felt all of these emotions, but it wasn't until later on that I realized, like, no, you were humbled by someone besides God. Mm-hmm. And whether it was God, making room for whatever my future is now, it is what it is. But I said all that to say, the way you really healed me is that going through that at the time, like I said, feeling sad, depressed, alone, I think I determined right then and there, number one, I'm never proposing again. Number two, I don't even want to get married. Number three, not to block myself from having a life partner, but if I do, they gonna have to know up front, like, ain't no marriage, man. Ain't none of that. Like, I don't want any of it, because I didn't, when something like that happens, whether people know the emotions now, and honestly, it's been so long that I'm so detached from the emotions, so I don't have a feeling about it now. There were times where I would think about it and I could still probably cry. I could still I could still feel how I felt that day. Mm-hmm. Now I don't have that. It's like a switch went off, and it's like I don't attach myself to it. I don't think about it. I have no ill will towards my ex that did it. I don't like none of that. And at the time, I was just like, I had all of these ill feelings. Like, mm-hmm. if somebody would bring her up or anything, even when she tried to come back, I had such a disdain for her that it was just like, no, like, we can't even be in the same room at this point. But I think as time goes along, all wounds heal, all things change. And I think that's why I'm a huge advocate for, like, this too shall pass. Like, everything comes to pass. All good can turn bad, and all bad can turn good for your favor, or whatever God has in store for you. So honestly, to answer your question, like, you have mended a heart that like I said, I thought was irreparable. I didn't think I would love like this, let alone want to have a YouTube channel to even set myself up for a demise or failure or anything of that nature. But what I've come to realize is, when it feels like this, it makes everything I used to feel not even comparable. Like, and I'm a firm believer, when people are like, oh, I broke up with my ex and I feel like I can't live without that person. Trust me, you can. And you will. Mm-hmm. And I have. And I do. And when I look back on it now, I couldn't imagine my life being with anybody but you. I couldn't imagine marrying anybody but you. When I saw you walk down the aisle on our wedding day, I literally could not control the tears, just because you were so beautiful and you were so meant for me in that moment. So I just obviously want to publicly thank you for everything that you've done for me. And it's not to say that life wouldn't be sweet without you, but you make it that much sweeter. And every day it gets sweeter and sweeter, and I wouldn't trust myself or my heart with anybody but you. And I just appreciate you for healing me, even though when you met me, you had no idea of my past. And I think for the longest time, like, I don't talk about any ex, let alone that one. And it just so happened because at the time when you first met me sharing backseat, that's the only reason why it even really came up. But I think you can attest to an ex is an ex for a reason. And it's been the same on your end as it's been on mine. We just don't discuss nor worry about what's going on with them. It's not that people haven't called and talked about our exes to us or mentioned them in a some type of realm. They do, but
people do.
I think we're I don't know. It's just has never phased us. Like as much as I know of an impact is your ex played in your life, the woman you are today, the damage, the good. Because in all relationships there are good. So it is possible to have exes that have some good, that have made you who you are, and it's good. But there are some exes, and I think in both of our cases, that did a lot of damage. Even things that we're working through in our marriage together from past relationships that you just got to chip away at it. And you have to be open enough and willing enough to have those conversations. Like, I don't ever get caught up in her ex. I more so get caught up in that action of an ex. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about him. I care about what he did to you and the role that it plays, and how can I rectify that, or how can I heal that or mend that? Because we're all growing. Like, I'm growing, you're growing, and I think I've seen things from your past that I actively need to, try to do a better job at. You know what I mean? Like, if I know your ex tore you down, why would I come in and tear you down? You know what I mean? Like, why would I do that? Or if you know that maybe I didn't feel as secure, I don't feel secure to, be as openly or as vulnerable, because I know what it looks like when you give all of that to somebody, then, why would you then do that to me? So I feel like we both see that in each other, and we try to do better.
I agree. It's good.
Thanks, baby.
Y'all heard it from her. But I would say, though, just kind of listen to you say what you said. I do feel like, it was nice to even hear that, or just to know exactly how I healed you, or, just based off of like what you went through. Because even whenever we did first meet, I don't even know if we ever talked about marriage, really. I think you knew I wanted to get married, but I never put marriage like just out there or anything like that. Like, I didn't even know it was coming.
Right. Even when I proposed, and I think that was scary because I didn't really know. I mean, I didn't think you were going to say no by any stretch of imagination. Yeah. However, I did not know without a shadow of a doubt, like, this is what you wanted.
Yeah, especially with the circumstances of, having to do it all over again, and still having, people in my life that at the time didn't agree, so like
it was like deja vu all over.
Yeah, in a way, it's just like I mean, that was part of your past relationship as to why it didn't work, and then obviously coming into me, like, it's pretty much like you said, deja vu all over again, because it could have went left, it could have been the same.
No, honestly, and I don't think I ever really told you this, but obviously, when you're planning a proposal, you want the people that is closest to the person you're proposing to be there. So obviously, I wanted, Dorrie's family, at least her sisters, if anything, to be there. So to find out that, one couldn't make it and then one was just opposing it all together, I just kind of thought to myself, this feels and sounds familiar. You know what I mean? It just felt familiar. So I did kind of get scared, kind of leading up to it.
Yeah.
Like, well, should I do this? Like, okay, if they're not here, then the after fact, once they find out that I still went ahead and did it, what influence is that going to play on Dorrie? And is it going to play the same influence that it played on my ex at the time, to where she felt like I don't want to be exiled from my family, so I can't do this.
Yeah. But I will say that we did talk about marriage, though. Like, we didn't, like I said, I never, like we never really just put it on the table or whatever. Like, or I mean, I would say we did put it on the table. We talked about it. Like we've had conversations. Like, do you want to get married? Do I want to get married? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually, we just knew that we were going to get married, though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like eventually we knew we would spend the rest of our lives together. It was just when that was going to be. But I never just been like, when are you gonna marry me? Or
like it was never like a timeline.
No,
but
it was never a timeline.
I think the reason why I knew, obviously, at some point we wanted to get married because we would talk about having kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always, like, I think Babe and even myself kind of felt like, well, if we're going to do that, like, I do want to do it the traditional way. Like, I want to be married first before we do that. And that's what kind of, what I remember sparking, like, okay, well, if we're going to do it the traditional way, I probably should propose at some point because they keep talking about this baby. And at one point, she was good with, I just want a baby. Like, we don't have to get married. Like, I'll take a baby before we get married.
I would have.
Yeah, but I was always kind of like, okay, I do want you to be Mrs. Vaughn before you have our child. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, here we are a whole year and a half later, we still don't have a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, God's timing is perfect timing. So I feel like in this year and a half that we have been married and bought our house, like we've gotten to experience a lot together, travel a lot, and just give us some time to be married and continue to build our foundation. Would you agree?
Yeah.
But you still want that baby.
Still want that baby.
She want that baby. Anyway, this video is long. I already know I'm about to have to.
She didn't want a long
I did not want a long video. I just want to be able to like.
Yeah. That's why I kind of just stay back here. I let you talk. I let you say your theme. But you know, eventually, like, and that's good. Like, at least they can kind of get like a little backstory on you. You know.
Yeah, because you know, I mean,
people don't really know that. I mean, no one. I don't think. I mean, at the end of the day, this is Brittney Dorrie. Our past is just our past. It is what it is. It's just some of the struggles that we've overcame, and you know, eventually, you know, like it will be a topic sometimes, you know, or I mean, even like my past will eventually be a topic, maybe.
I still have to edit that video.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure you guys want to know. We only gonna give y'all what we allow. But yeah, that's the end of this video, baby. I think they got a good one this Wednesday.
All right, so with that being said, it's your girl, Brittney.
And Dorrie.
And we are Brittney and Dorrie. Peace.
Help us decide what we gonna call Wednesdays, okay?
Yeah.
We do not know.
Walkie-talkie Wednesday.
No.
What?
No.
What's up Wednesdays?
No. Wicked Wednesday.
Wicked?
Okay, no.
Demonic.
Wise Out Wednesday.
What?
Or Wise Wednesdays.
What?
Wise Wednesdays. Like you're wise. Like wise.
What? Ooh. Why aren't there a lot of W's? Like
I
for
don't know.
Tuesdays, I would have came out with Talk About It Tuesdays. Tell me about it.
We in it together Wednesday. Here you go, babe.
Okay. Right there.
Okay.
All right.
Right here.
See y'all next Wednesday. You got too many cards on your side.
Just go ahead and just mix them all.
Something happened.
Let me go stop your camera.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Mm-hmm. You get 50% of the cut?
Baby. It wasn't even recording.
I'm not doing it. They're not getting a video. I'm not doing it.
No? Let's just do it one more time.
Girl, I wish I would. Stop what you're doing, hit the subscribe button. And if you've been subscribed, then you've been riding with us. Ain't nobody gonna hold you down like I do.
Stay true to you like I do.
Spoil you like I do.
Adore you like I do.
Clean for you like I do.
Cook for you like I do.
Ride it down with you.
Ride it down with you. And that's why I said